Hello, Agile Brisbane. If there's one thing Agile teams understand, it's that performance problems rarely start where we measure them. About a year ago, I had the opportunity to speak at this meetup about trust, energy, and innovation, and to share the thinking behind the Innovate framework that I have developed, and the tools to use the framework, the Trust Analyzer and the Knowledge Canvas. One idea emerged from the deep discussion that we all had. Trust isn't a soft concept, it's a structural condition that shapes performance. Since then, a few insights have become much clearer. The most meaningful insight is that misalignment is one of the biggest hidden risks in complex work. We explored how the trust analyzer surfaces where understanding diverges across a team by asking questions like, do we agree why this problem matters? Are we aligned on what success looks like? Do our perceptions of trust match? When these questions are asked early and revisited regularly, we have found that teams avoid significant rework and fatigue. Alignment isn't about standard metrics like time and cost, but it is about a shared understanding. And when that becomes visible, momentum is much easier to sustain. More broadly, what we've seen is this. When trust, knowledge, flow, and energy strengthen, performance accelerates. When they weaken, friction appears long before KPIs move. So what's changed since last year? The environment continues to shift rapidly. AI is accelerating how knowledge is created and shared. Projects are becoming more complex, and the pressure to deliver is increasing. What this highlights is that trust and knowledge flow is now as critical as capability. The organisations that adapt fastest aren't those with the best plans. They're the ones that can learn quickly together. Learning through practice is another key lesson in that frameworks mature in practice through real projects, retrospectives, and testing assumptions, which aligns strongly with Agile. But retrospectives can sometimes stay at the surface, focused on what happened, rather than the conditions shaping performance. When teams introduce structured reflection around trust, alignment, and knowledge flow, retrospectives reveal something much deeper. It reveals where understanding is diverging, where energy is shifting, and where uncertainty exists. And at that point, the retrospective becomes more than reflection. It becomes a continuous sensing system for how the work and the team are evolving. So why does a community like this one matter? Much of this learning hasn't come from one organisation or one mind like my own. It has come from conversation, it has come from deep research and reflection, from people sharing what they're seeing, including what isn't working. Communities like Agile Brisbane create the space for that. And in a world of increasing complexity, generous knowledge sharing is becoming essential. In closing, perhaps the opportunity isn't just about improving performance. Perhaps it's rethinking how performance emerges. When trust is strong, knowledge flows. When knowledge flows, alignment improves. And when alignment improves, teams move with clarity and momentum. Or in other words, performance emerges from the conditions that we create. Conversations like the ones we have in communities like Agile Brisbane are part of how that understanding evolves. Thank you again for creating the space to explore these ideas together.